This man is an actual fascist who said that once he's elected, there will not be another election. So why are they sitting down with him in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power to not democracy?
That's not the point. All I'm saying is we can go off the cliff.
It is the point. It is absolutely the point.
Well, let me hear Andrew. Let me hear what you have to say, Andrew.
You can go off the cliff and never, ever get power again.
That's where we are.
No, that isn't where we are, because
Andrew,
we haven't begun to
very well could be. He said this was the last election.
But Angela,
yeah, because this is what people are wrestling with at home.
Is on the substance of what this man plans to do with us.
Why his ass should not be welcome into the Oval. That is the whole point.
The voters have made that decision.
I don't care. I don't care.
Guys, look, I've been waiting for this one, okay? I've been waiting for this one because if you guys remember Angela Rye, okay, she went toe-to-toe with Byron Donalds on the Breakfast Club.
She broke the tide and started this inflation that has hurt so many people in our country. Everybody listening to your show. It's not true? When Joe Biden wanted to do his American Rescue Plan, Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate.
First of all, it's true that it's a tie-breaking vote.
You got notes, Angela, right?
That's fine. I have notes.
I'm gonna give it to Charlamagne.
That
that the American Rescue Plan that Joe Biden wanted, that Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate, would create a massive inflation that we have not seen in a generation. Well, guess what? Larry Summers was correct. Envy, you're in the housing business as well. I know because I listen to the show.
Interviewed.
No, I'm just asking them a question. Chill, Angela. So I listen to the show. I know you do a lot of business. She broke the economy.
I'm not going to do this morning, Byron.
Why are you not going to do this, Angela? Because I'm bringing facts. Hold on now. So now I'm bringing facts and you don't want to do it no more? Come on now, Angela. That's not right.
And she's been out here just acting like a complete raving lunatic this whole election. This lady is bitter as hell, and she's sitting up here talking about she was crying because of the election results. Like, look, y'all know that I was stomping for Trump, but I wasn't gonna cry if he lost. I was gonna be sad, but I mean, this lady is straight up Trump deranged, and they even got Andrew Gillum over here on this podcast. Okay, you got Tiffany Cross, Andrew Gillum, and Angela Rye. Now, who all remembers Andrew Gillum, the dude out in Florida who almost beat Ron DeSantis back in the day, okay, married to a black woman. Then you find out that he was apparently getting his cheeks clapped by a dude.
So police tell us back on March 13th, Andrew Gillum was so inebriated when they got here to the Mondrian South Beach Hotel that he could not even speak with those officers who responded here. And
at one point, police direct what appears to be a nude man to the bathroom. He's questioned and later takes a seat. The call came in about a suspected drug overdose. Andrew Gillum, husband, father, and rising star in the Democratic Party, the first black nominee of a major party when he ran for Florida governor, was one of 3 men found inside that hotel room. Police also released these photos showing the mess left behind: stained pillowcases and sheets, pills and bottles of pills spilled in various places. Police also removed what they suspected to be 3 small bags of crystal meth.
Gillum claimed he was here in South Florida for a wedding. He has since apologized and says he never has used methamphetamines, but he did say that after that unsuccessful bid for governor, he did fall into depression, started abusing alcohol, and he has since entered into rehab.
In a hotel room and was on drugs. Okay, so he was on the down low. A lot of these people have taken over the Democrat Party, and a lot of our folks don't even realize it. It's pretty much an LGBTQ takeover in the Democrat Party. That's why so many things are weird and bass backwards in the party. It's because you got these undercover weirdos running the show, and these people like Oprah Winfrey out here pretending to care, meanwhile getting paid $2.5 million. And Angela Rye, I don't know what the hell her issue is, but she's clearly lost her damn mind. And we're going to get into her talking about her grief and how there shouldn't be a peaceful transfer of power and how she thinks the election might have been stolen. All kinds of nonsense. The same stuff that they said that Trump should be locked up for. These people are ridiculous. Let's get into it.
Well, one, it's individual. Each of us have our own ways of getting through this. I got to tell you, it was, I'll confess, my coping was bed. I spent more days in it than I would like to admit. Mostly because I didn't want to watch anything serious. I didn't want to read anything serious. I didn't want to believe what the country again had done. And then the last few days,
Dude, you're pathetic. Pathetic. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Had a clean cut to each stage. I've gone from deep sadness and depression, like Andrew mentioned. I was waking up in the middle of the night going, fuck, like, is this real? Like thinking it was like a Groundhog's Day moment. I thought this was going to play out differently because
Guys, Angela Rye's waking up in cold sweats. No, it can't be. The people come to bring me to the camp yet? Like, did they come to bring my ass back to Africa? I don't want to pick cotton no more. Like, these people are so stupid. You waking up in the middle of the night talking about fuck. Fuck. These people are weird. You don't realize how crazy you sound as a person. This is why I make these videos, guys, to make fun of these losers and weirdos. Look at how disgruntled she looks. I'm over here having a good time. Even when there was BS and throwing these BS charges against Trump, even shooting at him, I managed to still have a good time. This lady is sad and bitter as hell, and I'm loving every second of watching her cope.
Joy and Brittany and I prayed the day before the election this time instead of me calling Joy the day after the election, like what happened. And I still ended up having to make the call, like what happened. And then I went through denial, which was like, okay, clearly this thing was stolen. Who did he steal votes from? Last time he was looking for votes, so clearly he must have found the votes. Elon could get on people's phones and text them about cotton they need to be picking. Surely he could figure out a way to be negotiating with these various Joe Biden, meeting with him in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power. Kamala Harris in her concession speech talked about a peaceful transition of power. But how do you have a peaceful transition with someone who actually isn't so peaceful in his remarks and some of the things that he's done in the past as president? What is this all about? So I wanted to make...
So, I mean, what does this mean? Like, didn't you guys spend like the last 4 years saying, oh my gosh, January 6th, you're clutching my pearls? They were clutching the hell out of them pearls. Would not shut the hell up. Nobody else. You know how few people I know in real life who talk about this? I could probably count on like one hand the amount of people who've even brought up January 6th. But you know what everybody's talking about? They're talking about the damn economy. Everybody cares about that. And now we're talking about a peaceful transfer of power. We don't know if that's such a good idea anymore. It's just because you disagree with somebody's politics, it's not such a great idea anymore. You see the hypocrisy of the left, guys? They love democracy when things are going their way. Then when things aren't going their way, get rid of electoral college. Get rid of the ability to even vote for who you want. We don't need to have a peaceful transfer of power because the people are too uneducated. Angela Rye is an elitist, okay? She thinks she's smarter than everybody. She's just like Sonny Holston. She need to be on The View somewhere. They looking for some new cast member, so she might be perfect to go on there because she's Trump deranged as hell, doesn't know her facts, and is a complete moron just like the rest of the women on that show.
I want to know how far Goodwill should go. Should he be meeting with Donald Trump in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power? Is that a way to neutralize some of what is to come? I actually don't like it, y'all. Maybe I'm just out here. Maybe I'm Andrew. I know you're the resident.
It's called being a bitter hater. That's what it is. It's really that simple.
Diplomat among us, and you may see it differently, but it actually really grinds my gears that this is something that we doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on. I really believe this man is a fascist and a racist and a bigot, and he's a xenophobic person, and he, you know, all of those things. And not to just label him, but these are the things that we say based on the words that have come out of his mouth. So,
well, if you didn't notice, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and even a lot of folks on the fake news don't even call them those things anymore. I wonder why. It's almost as if they lied to win the election and they use stupid black people like your dumbass in order to do it. because they knew that you were emotional, unhinged, easy to control, easy to manipulate. And they figured that they could use you as a tool against other, even weaker people, mainly black people, to finesse as many votes as they possibly could get. Now that the election's over, they don't really seem to care anymore. I wonder why.
But once the people have spoken, once voters have decided, and in this way, in a relatively convincing way in modern politics, given the spread, it is incumbent upon the existing leadership to, in my opinion, hold with its traditions and its norms. And quite frankly, it's been done. Hillary Clinton sat there as the opponent of Donald Trump, but as a former first lady and wife to President Bill Clinton, in hair distance to Donald Trump as he took the oath of office. I can't imagine what this woman wanted to do, snatch his hair, hers, and everybody else's. But that's not what we do in democratic societies.
Well, that's what Angela Rye wants to do. And if you pay attention to the internet, for those of you all who go anywhere outside of YouTube, or hell, even on YouTube, hell, even on this video, you can clearly see that some people don't truly believe in democracy. They'll sit up there and bitch and complain about democracy, this, that, and the third is in danger, and what we can't let happen to our country and the Constitution and all these things. But then when the American people elect who they want, all of a sudden it's a travesty and democracy doesn't matter so much anymore.
As an example to the rest of the world that this is what democracies do. You don't hold power just because you want to keep it. You don't get to stay in office after voters have said you got to go. You don't do what Trump did and act like a kid on a tangent.
But we know how he's going to act.
Up.
So why are we trying to be normal? I guess that's my question.
Bill Clinton came after George Bush, and he was against everything this man stood for. No. Right?
This man is an actual fascist who said that once he's elected, there will not be another election. So why are they sitting down with him in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power?
Angela Rye doesn't have comprehension skills. Apparently, a lot of people don't, because they tend to take everything that Trump says, or a lot of time things he doesn't say, out of context, because Trump never said that there'll be another election. He says that for people who don't often vote, because there are some groups who do not vote, specifically, he was either talking about Christians or gun owners or both. He was saying, like, guys, I know you guys don't normally vote, but at least get out here one time and vote. You don't have to vote after that. And then somehow that translates into there will never be another election, which Trump has never said. You can't take one thing somebody says, twist it and contort it into Trump deranged, crazy person, lunatic narrative, and then say that it makes sense to you. And then also when they clarify and they ask Trump about it, and he says, no, that's not what I meant. Here's what I meant, clear as day. And then they say, no, this is what you actually meant. You can't do that, guys. That's what crazy people do. And if you couldn't tell already, Angela Rye is a crazy person.
Power to not democracy. Why are we sitting down to have a peaceful transition of power to fascism? Why are we sitting down?
Because the voters decide.
All right, well, Andrew, I gotta tell you, I completely disagree. Yes.
You disagree with a peaceful transfer of power. What happened to all that damn democracy talk? These people are crazy, guys.
That Democrats keep running change candidates and Republicans keep running change the rule candidates. And I think that's what we have here. And I want to talk about why I don't accept that, well, that's the way it's done, and now it's time to, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Not that you're saying that, but even the whole imagery to the globe of, yes, we've accepted this and we're turning the keys over to this man. Elon Musk is one of the wealthiest men in the globe. He obviously has wealthiest in the keys over to this man.
Let's look at Angela Rye's face. I want to pay attention throughout this video. See if you ever catch her crack even a smile this whole video. Because this is exactly what this is a bitter mid-40s single woman. I don't think she has any children. Let me look and then edit it in and I'll be right back. Per Google, Angela Rye doesn't have any children. Angela Rye As far as I know, she ain't got no man. She ain't got no husband. Clearly, she don't got no boy toy because she just look how unhappy and bitter she is. So she ain't got nobody to stress relieve. She ain't got no kids. The only thing she had going in her damn life was getting Kamala elected, and she couldn't even do that right. No wonder this lady is miserable.
To accept that, well, this is what it is, and he has to welcome him into the White House. This is a man, the media has normalized it, but I think as people who look like us in our community, I think they depend on us to be able to see through the bullshit. And despite the media...
What do you expect to do? I mean, are you gonna like go grab arms and like stop them, or... I mean, you're going to form like a protest in front of the White House and prevent them from walking in? Like, what's the plan here? And what do you mean people depend on you? Yeah, maybe like dumb people who can't think for themselves. Maybe people who actually can afford their groceries and rent depend on people like you. But when people like you tell them, hey, you actually can afford your groceries and rent, you can't. It's like they want to swing the little freaking pendulum, swing a watch in front of your face. They try to hypnotize you into believing that actually the economy is good. There's no problems with the border. It's actually Trump that's the warmonger, even though there's all kinds of wars and escalations going on with Joe Biden right now. These are the people who say that we should listen to them. Meanwhile, I guarantee you that not one of them have any issues paying their bills. And they're not worried about a lot of the same problems that the average black person is worried about. They got multiple different streams of income, whereas the average person has one, and a lot of the time doesn't even have a good one. That's why nobody listened to y'all and they voted against Kamala Harris. They voted for Donald Trump.
We agree, but those are two separate things.
They are, Andrew, but you're saying, but a part of what you're saying suggests that this is all normal.
Well, don't let me
okay, well, clarify.
Anything,
let me know.
I can say things.
Well,
so
say it more clearly, because that's what it sounded like to me too, please.
No. So ceremony is one thing. These are ceremonies that have been cultivated over a period of time that don't inure any approval to this man's agenda. It doesn't rubber stamp, sign off on, or agree with Elon Musk being not just a gatekeeper, watchkeeper, but nowhere near the government of the United States in any capacity.
Osama bin Laden sitting down in the Oval Office with the president?
Listen,
would they have had Osama bin Laden
now he's
in the Oval Office sitting down with the president?
Well, can I just point out a point?
Terrorist. This man is a terrorist.
Guys, this isn't that. That's not.
Guys, so for the record, Hamas was duly elected to run the country over in Gaza. Even if Osama bin Laden, as crazy as it sounds, even if he were to win the election, if he was over in America, he was running, he won the election, presuming that they didn't do something fraudulent, cheat to win or something, he becomes president. It doesn't matter how vehemently you disagree. It's that simple. It's just how it works. I couldn't stand Joe Biden, and we have legitimate reasons to think this dude is corrupt as hell, and so is Kamala Harris. All these people got extremely enriched suddenly as soon as they get big government positions, starting with Congress. But we just got to let it go and wait 4 years and then get them out then. Besides that, the rest of this is just bitching.
The point. All I'm saying is we can go off the cliff.
It is the point. It is absolutely the point.
Well, let me hear Andrew. Let me hear what you have to say, Andrew.
You can go off the cliff and never, ever get power again.
That's where we are.
No, that isn't where we are, because we haven't begun to.
Very well could be. He said this was the last election.
But Angela, you are smart. However, your wisdom does not supplant that of all of the American people who went out and voted.
She thinks that, hey, the election wasn't enough. We have to stop this. Go ahead, do what you got to do, Angela. Go ahead and get your arms and go ahead and fight that fight. I mean, I'm be over here making my YouTube videos, okay? And I don't think there's going to be too many people in your militia, but just let me know how it goes. This lady thinks she's so smart, and the rest of the country is the problem, and she's over here having a damn fit in a conversation. She's cussing up a store. She's acting like a lunatic, guys. And she thinks everybody else is the problem. This is a bitter ass woman. Unhappy, nothing to live for besides herself and Democrats. At this point, it's just really sad more than anything. But I'm still going to laugh at her.
And unfortunately, I've had to subject myself to the same damn thing. You don't think I'm hurt? I felt awful. I felt humiliated.
I'm not questioning your pain,
No.
brother.
I'm going to finish my point. And ashamed that I had to call a guy and who I don't respect, who I don't like, and anything else, and concede a race for governor. No, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to Kamala either. She had warned the country of what a fascist looked like, and it was him and standing for him. Yet she picked up the phone, she made the call, because that's what mature democracies do. Now, two things. We don't want to conflate two different things. Do you think Kamala Harris is rubber stamped and signed off on his policies on Elon Musk
even talk
or any
about
of the above?
her. I
No, you
said
didn't
the
name check her,
Oval
but it is
Office.
important.
No, I didn't even bring up her concession
This is
call.
why, but you didn't, but I did.
I did not.
You
and
did
I'm
not.
saying
You
I
did
asked
not,
the question
Angela, but
about
I did.
the Presidential
If I could
Transition
say
Act of
why.
1963
If I
and
could
the
say
Oval
why.
Office meeting not being statutorily required.
Again.
That is
Andrew,
a
finish your
different
point. Finish your point.
conversation.
Because you're
No,
talking about the
because I don't want to
pageantry.
be labeled as saying something else. I didn't say anything
I can
about
be
your
labeled
concession
as
call.
saying
I
something
didn't say
else?
anything
But
about his
I think
concession
Andrew's
call.
making a different point. So, Andrew,
But I'm
finish
saying
your point.
it's not okay to say that I essentially
But you can
suggested that when you didn't want to have anything suggested to you either.
You can assign me saying that the president should attend inauguration and host the incoming president at the White House as being a rubber stamp of Elon Musk. Never said that.
I
but
did
you
not
inserted
say
it.
anything
Let
about
me get
Elon
back
Musk.
to the point, though.
That
Let
was
me get back to
Tiffany.
the point, if I could. The point is, we can still disagree with this man vehemently, and the fight still remains. Him sitting down for an hour-long coffee is not what we are really taking issue with. What we are really going to be taking issue with.
That's what Angela's taking issue with. That's how bitter people are, guys. They're just unhappy with every little thing. She's really mad because Trump went and sat down with Joe Biden. That's what this whole conversation about, is because he sat down with Joe Biden and they had a good conversation talking about the peaceful transition of power. That's what sparked this whole conversation. That's what she's mad about. She's not mad that he's just becoming the president. She's mad about that too. But she's mad because Joe Biden is being nice to him. Like, she's like, no, we need to be mean to Trump. Because that's what bitter, unhappy people do. They think, how can they be mean to people? How can they get over on somebody? How can they rub some dirt into somebody's wounds or something? She's not a good person. It's really that simple. She's a deranged lunatic. That's why she's so mad and so unhinged.
Is when he starts lining people up and marching them out of this country. When he comes in my neighborhood, for my children, for my family, for my way of life. Those are the fights, and we have to gear up. And to bring us back to what the question was.
I mean, what you gonna be sent back to Africa, guys? This is why I be making these stupid ass jokes, because some people don't get it. Like, this fool is acting like he about to bring black folks back to the cotton fields. This is so stupid. A lot of black people voted for Trump. He was president before. He didn't come for y'all ready to line y'all up and remove your way of life. What the hell are you dummies talking about?
The voters had the opportunity to consume that and make a decision as to whether or not they cared. And we don't get to supplant our knowledge, our will, our want over a democratic practice like an election. That was my point. And so certain norms must be kept to.
That wasn't an issue.
What the hell are you talking about, Angela? Because that clearly, it sounds like what you're talking about to me. Every time he says something about the peaceful transfer, you're objecting to it. You literally disagreed several times earlier.
Certain norms, some things, when things are not normal, norms go out the window. And I appreciate your perspective. I am not saying, nor have I ever said, that my wisdom, my knowledge, my limited experience takes every single voter, the millions of people that voted for Donald Trump, or the millions of people that voted for Kamala Harris. I'm not trying to supplant any of that. What I'm saying is there comes a time where we have to question the pageantry and determine if the pageantry is worth our credibility. That is what I'm asking. If we have said this man is a fascist, if we have said democracy is on the line, if we have said the things that we know and have relied upon for government support and programming will be no more, and we throw all of that out the window so that Joe Biden can skin and grin in a meeting with this man who is mugging the camera, he's still in character.
But do you think Joe Biden do you
guys, Angela, you got fooled, you got played, Angela. On the rare chance that you see this, which obviously she wouldn't have made it this far into the video, but still, the fact is you got played. That's why he's not saying it, and nobody else in the Democrat Party is saying it anymore.
It ain't about what he wanted to do. It's about what he
did was demonstrate not Joe Biden's personal will toward Donald Trump, but the will and the graciousness and the magnanimity of the office of president. And just because one derelict, Donald Trump, has no respect for democracies and our norms, doesn't mean that we are then equal by abandoning them right along with them.
I think that if he took an oath, I would like for us to pull up the presidential oath. Well, because I think that it's actually a violation of the presidential oath to sit down and meet with this man.
I think that's an opinion, but I think Andrew,
it is my opinion. I said I think.
Yeah, Angela, I hear you. Number one.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just saying, there's no need to shout. I hear you, and nobody is attacking you.
I understand. I don't feel attacked, and I'm not attacking any of y'all. My volume is my passion.
I just want us all to have like a mature exchange of everything, because right now
I am also passionate. It's mature passion.
Well, I have siphoned off.
There's no such thing as being mature, getting on a conversation like this, and then screaming over everybody, cussing up a storm. Is saying that it's a violation of the presidential oath to meet with the incoming There's nothing mature about this. This is what lunacy looks like. Talking about waking up in the middle of the night, talking about waking up in the middle of the night, probably sweating your ass off, miserable. You call that mature?
All of us are. All of us have strong opinions about how we feel.
I just want us to be respectful to each other's point. Andrew, I hear your point. Angela, I hear your point.
I think it is symbolically important for let's just start with the fact that the campaign that decided we were going to run on democracy can't then abandon the traditions, customs, rights, responsibilities, all too appertaining to their offices, even when they're on their way out. And we have seen difficult transitions in the history of this country before. Like and guess what? All I'm simply saying is we do have to mount a fight. We do have to push back on Donald Trump. But for me, it ain't going to be over a coffee. It's going to be over his policies.
You guys, I don't know how to express this enough. This is not about him having a coffee with Joe Biden in the Oval. This is about the image and the signal it sends.
About him having coffee with Joe Biden in the Oval.
No, she's talking about what's going to happen in inauguration.
No, I'm not.
Oh, well, what are you talking about?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about even today, because we recorded this on Wednesday, him saying to Donald Trump, welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
Is he welcome? Yeah. Why is he welcome? Why is what he stands for welcome? Why does that have a place in the most sacred place other than the Capitol that this nation says it built? Like, why is that the case? Why
Angela,
is it?
I think it's a fight. I just don't think it's the fight we ought to be having.
Why is it that when democracy is on the line, this is how we respond? It does not make sense to me. I'm someone that doesn't do well in hypocrisy. I can handle nuance. I don't do well in hypocrisy. Either he's a fascist or he's not. Either he's a terrorist or he's not. Either he's an insurrectionist or he's not. It doesn't matter that he's bamboozled and pulled the wool over the eyes of many. We haven't even gotten to the appointments. None of the appointments he's made are about the economy, which is why people said they voted for him. So either we normalize it or we decide this is the time not to normalize it.
Two things can be true at once. He can be a fascist and a racist and a sexist and a misogynist and all those things.
That's
and
more
he
than
can
two
also
things.
be the incoming president of the United States, who
Should not come.
for our judgment, yours,
He's
mine,
not
and
even gonna
everybody
be there.
else's.
His White House is Mar-a-Lago. Like, why?
But Andrew, you're saying what I heard you say is to Angela, it's a fight. It's not the fight we should be having now. I want to push back on that point because I have to say I did
not now, by the way. I just don't think this particular thing.
I hear you.
Coffee with the president and the new president.
It's not just
I get what
with
you're
the
saying.
president.
And I think the imagery though, Andrew, because when
Yes.
I did not hear Joe Biden say welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, which I would have a challenge with that too. But Andrew, I have to push back on this because by Joe Biden saying that, welcome back, what message does that send to President Zelensky? What message does that send to Modi of India? What message does that send to Vladimir Putin and Dmitry Medvedev? So then one more what's
But he
And
did not
we-
have a
and we
track
warned-
record as the lead,
And we
as
warned
the chief,
against
as the
him.
commander in chief. The executive orders and actions he passed, the bills he signed, none of that had happened yet. This was the first office he was ever elected to.
Michelle
now we
Obama
have the
had previously warned us in the
I'm
closing
not
argument
saying
in
that we
2016
disagree
in
with Michelle
Philadelphia
But that's still
Obama.
different.
about
Andrew,
who he was.
it still
Yet
was a
she stood on the
suggestion
steps.
about.
She handed her
All
a
right.
Tiffany's box. She welcomed her into the White House. She decided
And
on
she regretted
inauguration
off the
morning
record about
she
how
was
that was
not
the
going
hardest
to put
thing
her
she
hair
had to do.
together.
She's
She
like
was
on
gonna
the
go
record
there.
about it.
She was going to tighten her face, but she was going to sit there and endure it for the country and
I
for
don't
the
want
office
to
that she
endure
represented.
another
You don't
goddamn
have to,
thing for
and
this
that's why you
country.
shouldn't
And
go to
I'm-
inauguration.
I'm
You shouldn't
not,
sit
Andrew.
and watch
It's
the
not
coffee.
about inauguration. This
It
is not about.
This is
No,
ceremony. This is why I'm saying this isn't the
Andrew,
fight. I didn't
this
say
is
this isn't
not
the fight we
about
should ever have today.
inauguration.
I'm
It
saying
is the fight we should have because
the
this is what
fight we
people
ought
are
to be
wrestling with at
having is
home.
on the substance
The
of what this man
substance
plans to
is
do with
why
us.
his ass should not be welcome into the Oval. That is the whole point.
The
It is
voters
bigger.
have
The
made that
substance,
decision.
I don't care. I don't care.
Boom, there you go. The voters made the decision. She doesn't care. Basically, she doesn't care about democracy. The voters decided overwhelmingly. He won the popular vote. He won the Electoral College. He got the Senate, House, Supreme Court, and the executive branch of the presidency. And she does not care. It's that simple, guys. There's no further that you need to see. Like, this was already a long video. I'm sure that you guys have seen enough to know how this person operates. She thinks that she's smarter than everybody. You're coming across like a bitter child who's throwing a tantrum because you're not getting what you wanted. How dare you meet with Donald Trump and tell him, welcome back? Like, are you freaking joking? These people are pathetic, guys, but let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
It is
voters
bigger.
have made
the
that
substance,
decision.
I don't care. I don't care.
You dumb bitch.